Adamski here with ShamaMama.com. Today I wanted to share with you my painting process with this painting that is all about my uncle Ross, who recently passed away. I was talking to my friend Christy the other day and telling her how I was feeling a little bit sad, I was feeling a little bit mad, and she said, gosh, I think a grief painting might be in your near future. That might help you. And I thought, yeah, let's do it. And it's funny because I thought it was going to be black and red and kind of just angry and a lot of, throwing paint. That's what I was, I guess, expecting. That's what happens when we have expectations, right? The exact opposite happened, and this really beautiful, layered, vivid painting came out, kind of mystical, and I documented my painting process and wanted to share it with you just to give you an understanding of how my artist's brain works and also introduce you perhaps to another way to feel and process your emotions. So let me show you how this beautiful little painting came to be. It's all because of my Uncle Ross. This is my uncle, Ross Forbes. I started on my blank canvas with just a few words because that's kind of how he liked it. And rather than dark colors, these beautiful images came up with some dripping paint that I used. And I think it's interesting because these look like crystals to me, and Ross was a geologist. He had such a large crystal collection. I used to always love to play with his crystals when I was a kid. He was also in the music business. He was a ham radio operator. So I wanted to incorporate some of these things into his painting. When he was younger, he would go to Tahiti a lot, and he would always come back with black pearls. And he would always bring back pumpkins from Marysville when he was working there as a disc jockey on the radio. These pumpkins were enormous. It was such a treat. When he was in Tahiti, he would also bring back shark teeth and the jaws of sharks, and had those on his wall, along with boomerangs and other really neat things, including gold records. He was in the music industry, and he had several gold records on his wall, right across from his crystal collection. It was one of the neatest places to visit when I was a young kid. So instead of reds and blacks and angry painting coming up, all of these little bits of Ross's life started coming forward for me. The things that I guess were prominent in my heart, in my mind. But it's just different than what I was expecting, and I think that's really neat. And I found it really interesting that I kept pulling this card over and over again during this painting process. Such a beautiful sign. As I was painting, I started to realize that this painting was almost feeling like a portal or connection to Uncle Ross. He was a ham radio operator and talked to people all over the world. So I made sure to put a ham radio antenna on top of this little hut. And I think that this is what heaven might look like to Uncle Ross. Since Ross's passing, the dragonfly has been coming by at just the right times. So I feel like the dragonfly is helping to keep me connected to Uncle Ross. And I wanted to add some gold to those little music notes there and just to the painting in general to honor Ross's golden years, his happy years with his wife Mary, and acknowledging those gold records. So in the end, it turns out this painting is really more about connection to Ross, continued connection. May he always have that ham radio antenna wherever he is so that he can stay in contact with his family and loved ones. Always. I love you forever.